they didn't ask for partition. The families who stayed back in Pakistan are the ones who were not able to migrate in 1947. They lived in interior since they didn't have access to transport, they didn't have access to anything. They don't have the money, they don't have the power, they don't have the voice, and trying to abuse and trying to silence the voice of the voiceless is the worst thing you can do as a country. 1947 has happened, the partition has happened, but now you have 90 lakh Hindus who live there. Pakistan claims there are only 35 lakh Hindus because they don't count tribal Hindus as Hindus, but in reality, there are 90 lakh, 9 million Hindus who live in Pakistan. And I feel Pakistan has a responsibility for them, and only they can help these girls. Second, the Indian government, since 2014, there has been a positive change in providing visas to Hindu families. Before 2014, it was absolutely impossible to legally move to India for a Hindu from Pakistan. But now a lot of legal migration has happened thanks to the present government. However, the present government needs to do more. Again, the Hindu families who are living in Pakistan, they didn't ask for partition, and we have a responsibility as a Hindu nation to help them. And we don't have an ambassador in Islamabad right now. The post is vacant. So if I have to approach somebody for a medical visa, like if a girl has approached me, a Hindu girl has approached me from Pakistan, and she needs a medical visa, I don't know where to go. So we need to get our house in order in Islamabad as an Indian embassy. And that's my appeal to India. And third, the US. The universities in US and the students over there, they are trending all eyes on Rafah, and they are talking about the Palestine and the Gaza causes. A lot of Indians in US are talking about that. They need to look elsewhere because closer to their homes, closer to their ancient homes, this problem is happening. This thing is happening where 3 girls every day are being abducted and they are forced to live a life worse than hell. Death is better for them than living that particular life.
Yes.
They are taken to the mosque, they are converted, they are raped, they are sold off, there's sex trafficking, there's sex slavery, there's everything going on over there. And whatever I am saying, everything is documented. And the Priya Kumari case, the media covered it and it's out in the open. So people who have followed it, they know what has happened. And deep inside, we all know we might never see Priya Kumari again.
Well, that's unfortunate, Nikhil. And, as a matter of fact, this could be just one of hundreds of such cases which probably have not been reported yet. We appreciate you joining us, hoping here on that your voice reaches out to those people who probably can help you resolve this issue, and also hoping that Priya Kumari comes home soon.
Thank you.
And for now, let's move on to the other stories we are tracking. The armed forces have pulled back from the presidential palace in La Paz amidst a coup attempt that was made. President has condemned the coup effort, calling for international support to uphold democracy, saying that he stands firm with his ministers, and Vice President vowing to defend the government against any such threats in future.
Bolivian armed forces pulled back from the presidential palace in La Paz on Wednesday. This comes after the Bolivian president slammed a coup attempt against the government and called for international support.
El país hoy está enfrentando un intento de golpe de Estado. Hoy el país enfrenta una vez más intereses para que la democracia en Bolivia se trunque. Aquí estamos, el gobierno nacional con todos sus ministros, ministras, firmes con nuestro vicepresidente, firmes aquí en Casa Grande para enfrentar todo intento golpista, todo intento que atente a nuestra democracia.
The Bolivian military cordoned off government buildings which were prone to coup attempts. Mexico's President López Obrador praised Bolivia's response to the failed coup attempt.
Hay mucha inestabilidad política, pero afortunadamente respondió muy bien el gobierno de Bolivia, de Luis Arce, respondió muy bien el pueblo de Bolivia, la gente defendiendo la democracia, rechazando el golpe.
Soldiers were seen guarding the presidential palace as an armored vehicle attempted to break through the doors. Bolivians from all around the country have gathered in support for their president. The leader of the failed coup attempt is being held outside the headquarters of the Special Police Forces. Government supporters were seen repudiating the coup and demonstrated in favor of democracy.
Es increíble que en pleno siglo XXI pueda haber un intento de golpe. Es que defendemos el derecho constitucional, el derecho democrático que tenemos todos los bolivianos. Hemos hecho una vigilia toda la noche.
Some citizens believe that the coup was intentionally orchestrated.
De lejos ha sido un autogolpe planificado, premeditado. Lamentable, yo vi a algunos compañeros que conozco, funcionarios, riéndose de oreja a oreja, pues en un golpe de Estado como 2019 no podías hacerlo eso. Entonces, yo creo que sabían todo eso.
As Bolivia faces this political crisis, the world watches closely.
We'll head into a very short break. When we come back, we'll get you all that's making news from across the country. The latest from J&K, where Chief Electoral Officer has now written to District Election Officer to begin preparations for assembly polls due in next few months. Also, India gears up for final face-off with South Africa in T20 World Cup final. Thrashed defending champions England by 68 runs.
In the India Today Best Universities 2023 survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School Bengaluru.
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth, over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India and India's phenomenal Digital Yatra, Republic Business is delighted to bring its inaugural Republic Business Emerging Tech Awards.
Get ready to witness the best technology extravaganza of the year. The first edition of the Republic Business Emerging Technology Awards has received an overwhelming number of nominations. Dominating the categories are AI and robotics, healthcare, edutech, fintech, banking and finance, and martech. Groundbreaking innovations and revolutionary ideas from the largest digitalized economy in the world. Join us as we celebrate India's incredible digital growth.
Welcome back. Now the return of Starliner spacecraft, which took NASA astronaut Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore to International Space Station, has been postponed. The Premier Space Agency said that it was treading with caution after managing small helium leaks and thruster performance that they observed during rendezvous and docking of the spacecraft.
Starliner Atlas V.
NASA has postponed the return of the Starliner spacecraft, which has, among others, US astronaut of Indian descent Sunita Williams on board. The postponement of the return of the NASA spacecraft could potentially put the lives of Williams and fellow astronauts on board at risk. The NASA and Boeing leaderships are adjusting the return of the Starliner crew flight test spacecraft to Earth with Sunita Williams and fellow astronaut Butch Wilmore from the International Space Station. Steve Stitch, the manager of NASA's Commercial Crew Program, said the agency was taking its time and following the mission management team process. The Premier Space Agency said it was treading with caution after managing small helium leaks and thruster performance that they observed during rendezvous and docking of the spacecraft. As the clock ticks down to planned return of the Starliner spacecraft, the world watches on with trepidation. Here's hoping Sunita and her fellow astronauts fly back safe.
Now, even as Israel remains on the verge of humanitarian catastrophe, in Tel Aviv, a large crowd gathered for the Tribe of Noah's first event that was held since 7th of October terror attack launched by Hamas. The concert, in fact, aimed to support survivors of the terror attack launched by the Hamas group through music and community solidarity.
Tel Aviv's Parliamentary came alive with the Tribe of Noah's healing concert. This marks the first large-scale event since the devastating attack by Hamas on Israel on October 7th.
There's one track, it's called Dance is the Answer. And I think it's the answer for, a lot of things. Sadness and happiness. And you do whatever you want. Like, if you're feeling sad, you still can dance, but...
The event aimed to raise awareness and funds for therapy and support networks for survivors of the terror attack. The deadly assault carried out during a music festival.
Nothing can stop us from living our lives here in Israel, and nothing can stop us from keep on dancing and living.
Another attendee shared how dancing was not just a celebration but a tribute to those who lost their lives.
The only way to really commemorate these people is through living what they lived, which is dancing. That's what they came there to do. That's what all the trans people actually, what they do is looking for a place that they can gather together and dance and have fun and really enjoy each other and love.
Beyond music, the Tribe of Noah gathering showcased spirit to heal and move forward.
And in business news that we are tracking, the Reserve Bank of India has released its latest financial stability report, which highlights India's robust financial system amidst global challenges. Here's a report.
The latest financial stability report from the Reserve Bank of India. Despite concerns such as geopolitical tensions and slow disinflation progress worldwide, India's economy remains stable. What makes the economy resilient? At the heart of this resilience are the country's scheduled commercial banks. As of March 2024, these banks reported a robust capital to risk-weighted assets ratio of 16.8%, with a notable decrease in gross non-performing assets to 2.8%. Non-banking financial companies also showed robust health. As of March 2024, capital to risk-weighted assets ratio is at 26.6% and gross NPA ratio is at 4%. While global financial systems face pressures from escalating debts and geopolitical uncertainties, the report indicates that India's financial institutions are well prepared. Stress tests suggest banks can withstand adverse scenarios, ensuring financial stability moving forward. India is the third largest economy, and the journey forward seems to be uphill.
We'll head in a very short break, tracking all the updates from across the country. In J&K, Chief Electoral Officer writes to district election officers to begin preparations for assembly polls in next 2 months. Also, India gears up for final face-off with South Africa in T20 World Cup final.
In the India Today Best Universities 2023 survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School Bengaluru.
Get ready to witness the best technology extravaganza of the year. The first edition of the Republic Business Emerging Technology Awards has received an overwhelming number of nominations. Dominating the categories are AI and robotics, healthcare, edutech, fintech, banking and finance, and martech. groundbreaking innovations and revolutionary ideas from the largest digitalized economy in the world. Join us as we celebrate India's incredible digital growth story. Republic Business Emerging Technology Awards, Friday, 5th July 2024.
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth. Over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions.
And in good news from the world of sports, India has successfully sealed a spot in the finals of T20 World Cup final. This after thrashing mighty England. The team is now all set to take on South Africa's side in Barbados this Saturday.
India thrashed defending champions England by 68 runs to reach the final of the T20 World Cup. Rohit became the first Indian captain to lead the country in 3 ICC finals in a space of 12 months. The World Test Championship, the ODI World Cup, and now the T20 World Cup. It has indeed been a long wait for fans all around the country. This is going to be India's first final appearance in the T20 World Cup since the year 2014. India has now successfully avenged the dues of the wounds caused from 2022. The Indian captain's stellar half-century played a crucial role in saving the day. Fans are keeping their fingers crossed for India's heated final game, which is all set to kick off on Saturday against the Proteas.
बहुत मजा आया, बहुत अच्छा खेला इंडिया ने and they played like champions. Now hoping South Africa के साथ वापस यही रिपीट करें and I'm pretty sure they will. दोनों से बदला कंप्लीट किया, बदले की बात ही नहीं है, अच्छा खेला था वहाँ भी, तो ठीक है, जीत जाएंगे अभी साउथ अफ्रीका के साथ भी.
Some are confident that the World Cup is India's to win this time.
I think Rohit is emotional today because he's trying to take the revenge of 7 months old game. Yeah. So I think that's why he was emotional, he was crying. So now he has another chance to win the cup for India.
Yeah, and also South Africa is
for India's victory. We prayed since morning for the India's victory.
As fans all around the country join to celebrate this momentous occasion, the question of the hour is, will India be able to take on the mighty South African side, or will it be heartbreak yet again?
ready to witness the best technology extravaganza of the year. The first edition of the Republic Business Emerging Technology Awards has received an overwhelming number of nominations. Dominating the categories are AI and robotics, healthcare, edutech, fintech, banking and finance, and martech. Groundbreaking innovations and revolutionary ideas from the largest digitalized economy in the world. Join us as we celebrate India's incredible digital growth story. Republic Business Emerging Technology Awards, Friday, 5th July 2024.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
A very good morning, viewers. You're watching live this morning. Joining me in the studios is Suyesha. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. Suyesha, you've just come from those waterlogged areas. How is the situation looking on the ground?
Absolutely not good, Saviksha. Rains have completely lashed all of Delhi and NCR today, and some of those roads that are completely blocked. Traffic snarls are going to be a big disruption. But as we begin this morning, we also get our viewers all the other top stories that are making news, and of course the latest from the world of business, sports and entertainment. Lots packed. Let's begin with the headlines.
American Pistachio presents cracking news of the hour.
An 80-plus Democratic presidential candidate, a convicted Republican presidential candidate, a historic presidential debate underway in the United States.
First batch of 4,500 Amarnath Yatra pilgrims leave for Kashmir. LG Manoj Sinha monitors the Yatra preparations.
With Yatra set to kick off starting today, CRPF implements a robust security plan for Amarnath pilgrims on the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway.
J&K Chief Electoral Officer writes to district election officers to begin preparations for assembly polls in next 2 months.
India gears up for the final face-off with South Africa in T20 World Cup. Final thrash defending champions England by 68 runs. And well, as the first set of the Amarnath Yatra that will reach Jammu, the Jammu and Kashmir administration has ramped up security for the annual Amarnath pilgrimage to an unprecedented level following the June 12 terrorist attack on Shiv Khori pilgrims, which killed over 9 and injured dozens of those devotees.
Yes, and adding to that, Suyesha, security measures are in place. Our security forces have taken extensive measures to ensure that safety of pilgrims is paramount. In fact, let's go across to Gursimran. He's joining us live with the latest on the ground. Gursimran, good morning. 4,500 pilgrims have already left for Kashmir. What are the arrangements and what is the enthusiasm that you see on the ground?
Samiksha, 4,603 is the final number of the pilgrims that has been shared by the Jammu and Kashmir administration that has left for the holy pilgrimage from the Bhagwati Nagar base camp right now, from where we are reporting from. These include 1,900 plus to the Baltal route and more than 2,600 to the Pahalgam route. They will be reaching the Kashmir Valley by today evening, and they will be performing the darshans at the holy cave of Baba Barfani tomorrow morning with the first sunlight. That is the first day of the Amarnath Amarnath Yatra. Right now at the Bhagwati Nagar base camp, adequate security arrangements have been made. The CRPF has taken over the outer peripheral security along with the security wing of the Jammu and Kashmir Police that has been deployed, and no vehicle apart from the official vehicles is being allowed to move inside the Bhagwati Nagar base camp owing to the security concerns that we have seen in the last few days. Apart from this, what we have seen is the regular terror threats that are being posed by the terror groups with increasing number of terror activities in the Jammu region, and that's why the CRPF has not only deployed its regular troops but also the Cobra commandos in the security of the Amarnath Yatra. This has been done to ensure that the Yatra is foolproof and there is no untoward incident when it comes to the checking of the pilgrims that are coming for the holy pilgrimage of the Amarnath Yatra. There have been cameras that have been installed here so that every pilgrim that is entering is being pictured, and a record is maintained by the Jammu and Kashmir Police and its security wing. So an overall round the clock 360-degree security apparatus, the security grid has been reviewed, and a day before yesterday, a day prior to the start of the Yatra's first batch from the Jammu, MHA held a special review meeting, and some of the officers have been replaced by the experienced officers for the conduct of the smooth and secure Amarnath Yatra.
Oh yes, absolutely, Gursimran. And in fact, we are also getting to understand that CCTV cameras have been installed at every vantage point to ensure that they are watching the situation very closely to facilitate a smooth pilgrimage for all these devotees. Food, electricity, water, all the arrangements have been made adequately so that they don't have to have any bad experience.
Yes, when it comes to the security, to the arrangements that all have been made inside the Bhagwati Nagar base camp, there is a proper arrangement for the pilgrims to stay. Around 10,000 pilgrims can stay inside the Bhagwati Nagar base camp. That is the first base camp for the Amarnath Yatra, and apart from this, all the other arrangements have been made apart from the heightened security grid, because the security of the Amarnath Yatra continues to be a challenge when it comes to the recent incidents that have taken place in the Jammu region, starting from the Kathua to Udhampur to Riyasi to the Doda district, and that's why the Jammu and Kashmir Police, along with the security wing, they are taking care of each and every vehicle and the individual that is entering inside the base camp. When it comes to the route of the Yatra, that has been duly secured by the CRPF, Jammu and Kashmir Police, Indian Army, ITBP and other paramilitary forces. More than 50,000 troops have been deployed on the route of Amarnath Yatra along with the high-tech gadgets, so as to ensure that there is no untoward incident that takes place during the Yatra that is moving from Jammu to the Kashmir Valley and then to the upper cave.
All right, Gursimran, thank you for the moment. We will keep coming back to you. In fact, let's also take a look at this report, which has details of the preparations in place for the Amarnath Yatra that kicks off starting tomorrow.
Amarnath Yatra, which is of almost 52 days, will begin from 29th of this month, that is on Saturday, and we are reporting right from the base camp, which is the first stop of these Yatris who will be coming to take the pilgrimage to reach to the cave of Amarnath. I'll ask my VJ Mubashir to show you the visuals of the Nunwan base camp. This is the place where most of the Yatris will be stationed for night. They'll be spending a day in this very camp, and here from the Yatra will be flagged off by the concerned DC. You see the Jammu and Kashmir Police is taking care of the deployment on ground. Also CRPF and the army will be part of the operation, but most of this the security issue will be taken care by the Jammu and Kashmir Police. You will see the deployment of the men, the nakas, the checking points that have been enhanced across, because this is one of the long routes and the traditional routes of this 52 days Yatra. There will be the convoy of the security forces who will be escorting these pilgrims, and also we are seeing the arrangements that have been done. There will be the tracking devices that will track the movement of the Yatris, and the real-time tracking for the movement. There will be cut-off timings for the convoy. So whatever is required for this peaceful and the successful Yatra, the J&K administration is trying to do. The good number of the Yatris will be taking the pilgrimage this year, because this is one of the oldest pilgrimage that we see every year. But here again in this Yatra, we see the communal harmony, because the Yatra is facilitated by the Kashmiri Muslims.
Moving on, in a highly charged session of the Parliament, President Murmu delivered an address invoking emergency era, drawing contrasting reactions from political quarters and igniting a fierce debate on governance and democracy.
Yes, and adding to that, Suyesha, opposition members visibly arrayed even staged a walkout from the Lok Sabha as the Speaker recognized the President's remarks on emergency. In fact, Prime Minister Modi also lauded President Draupadi Murmu's address, describing it as a comprehensive roadmap for progress and effective governance.
The opposition scoffed as President Murmu invoked the emergency era and laid out the centre's 10-year report card while addressing the joint sitting of the Parliament. President Murmu's invocation of the emergency as a quote-unquote dark period comes amid a bitter political slugfest. The President's address drew praise from PM Modi, who said it presented a roadmap of progress and good governance. As the President listed the key takeaways of the 10-year NDA rule, while adding that the centre was doing everything to punish those behind the NEET scam, the opposition fumed and accused her of reading a quote-unquote BJP script.
Let us see what is the programs they are going to do newly and how much the programs they have implemented last year, last before year. So we'll see that, and we are expecting at least good speech this year.
अभी तक हमने ये सोचा है कि राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण का बहिष्कार करेंगे। देखिए, राष्ट्रपति और संविधान सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है, सर्वोपरि है। संविधान की जब धज्जियां उड़ाई जाए, जब न्याय के नाम पर आप तानाशाही करो, तो आवाज़ उठाना जिम्मेदारी बन जाती है।
राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण का निश्चित रूप से बहिष्कार करेंगे, क्योंकि ये महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी का अपना खुद का वक्तव्य नहीं होता, बल्कि वो सरकार का वक्तव्य पढ़ती हैं। सरकार की जो लिखे हुए भाषण होते हैं उसको पढ़ती हैं। तो इसलिए हम लोग राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण का बहिष्कार करेंगे। जब राष्ट्रपति जी स्वयं कुछ अपनी तरफ से बोलेंगी, कहीं कोई उनका खुद का कार्यक्रम होगा, उसका बहिष्कार करने का प्रश्न नहीं है, उसमें तो हम लोग जरूर शामिल होंगे।
Terming the President's address as hollow, BSP chief Mayawati called out the centre's quote-unquote failure in addressing rising inflation, employment and poverty. With the centre going loud with its condemnation of the emergency and the opposition clapping back with its democracy in danger narrative, expect this political saber rattling to escalate in the coming days.
And the other big story that we are tracking with BJP President JP Nadda's tenure set to conclude tomorrow itself, the party has intensified its efforts to find a suitable successor. In fact, according to sources, BJP has even reached out to the RSS for guidance in selecting the next BJP president.
Oh yes, absolutely, Samiksha. In fact, among the front runners, BJP's General Secretaries Vinod Tawre and Sunil Bansal, who have emerged as favourites within the party's top brass. However, reports indicate that RSS is advocating for Union Ministers Shivraj Singh Chauhan and Rajnath Singh as potential candidates for the top post. Reports also give out that the Modi-led BJP might consider granting JP Nadda a short extension as the party president, this to avoid confrontation with the RSS. Let me cut across to Gopi, who joins us live this morning to give us more details on what she's picking up from her sources on the very same. Good morning to you, Gopi. Do tell us, because lots is being spoken about who could be the front runners, whether it could be Rajnath Singh or even JP Nadda being given an extension, a short extension. What could happen?
Well, Suyesha, what we are learning from our sources is, yes, BJP is indeed in talks with the RSS, and RSS in fact has suggested to field Rajnath Singh or Shivraj Singh Chauhan, either of them, as the new BJP president, party president. Now, RSS has also suggested either of them to resign from the post of a union cabinet ministry, which they have been assigned by the Modi 3.0 government, and take up the charge of national presidentship. Now, what is happening is, while the Home Minister and Prime Minister, both Amit Shah and Narendra Modi, they are not of the opinion to give away with the senior BJP union cabinet ministers. Rather, they have in fact put faith on two people. One is Vinod Tawde and another is Sunil Bansal, who have in fact proven over the period of time that they have worked effectively for the party. So we will just have to wait and watch who would be fielded as the national president of BJP. But the names that are running in the field is Vinod Tawde and Sunil Bansal, and Home Minister as well as Prime Minister Narendra Modi are of the opinion to put faith on either of them. Back to you.
Yes, Gopi, just a quick follow-up question. Also talk to us about how crucial is it getting the RSS also on the same page when it comes to deciding on the BJP president's post.
Well, indeed, if we talk about the involvement of RSS in deciding the BJP, choosing a BJP president, when you look at it, the larger scale of politics which revolves around, and people still talk about there is a rift between BJP and RSS, but that is not so. People say that it has been, what we are learning from our sources is, it was in fact a rumor that this thing had happened, and BJP is well in terms with RSS to choose the party president, and this would in fact impact the larger politics, specifically when you talk about the Maharashtra politics. So this is the larger picture, and we are sure that definitely BJP is in talks with RSS, and they are going to consult before choosing the party president. Back to you.
Oh yes, absolutely. An important decision there to be made post the results of the Lok Sabha elections, and how the BJP is really going to strategize its working on the ground in the time to come. While we'll get you the latest on that, we also speak on what happened in the parliament. Yes, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who hailed the Sengal as the politics over it took center stage. Now, he's also said that in the coming generation that would be inspired by this historic symbol of democracy and make the nation only a better nation. Let's take a look at this report.
यहाँ पर कल और आज को जोड़ती हुई एक बहुत बड़ी विरासत का प्रतीक भी मौजूद है। आजादी की पहली किरण का साक्षी, जो आने वाली पीढ़ियों को भी प्रेरणा देने वाला है, वैसा पवित्र सेंगोल और ये वो सेंगोल है जिसको भारत के प्रथम प्रधानमंत्री पंडित नेहरू का स्पर्श हुआ था। ये पंडित नेहरू के हाथों में पूजा विधि कर करके आजादी के पर्व का प्रारंभ हुआ था। आज जब हम एक नई शुरुआत कर रहे हैं, तब हमें अतीत की हर कड़वाहट को भुलाकर आगे बढ़ना है। इस स्पिरिट के साथ जब हम यहां से हमारे आचरण से, हमारी वाणी से, हमारे संकल्पों से जो भी करेंगे देश के लिए, राष्ट्र के एक एक नागरिक के लिए वो प्रेरणा का कारण बनना चाहिए और हम सबको इस दायित्व को निभाने के लिए भरसक प्रयास भी करना चाहिए। आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, ये भवन नया है, यहां सब कुछ नया है, सारी व्यवस्थाएं नई हैं। यहां तक आपके सब साथियों को भी आपने एक नए रंग रूप के साथ प्रस्तुत किया है। सब कुछ नया है, लेकिन यहां पर कल और आज को जोड़ती हुई एक बहुत बड़ी विरासत का प्रतीक भी मौजूद है। वो नया नहीं है, वो पुराना है और वो आजादी की पहली किरण का स्वयं साक्षी रहा है, जो आज अभी हमारे बीच उपस्थित है। वो हमारे समृद्ध इतिहास को जोड़ता है और जब आज हम नए सदन में प्रवेश कर रहे हैं, संसदीय लोकतंत्र का जब ये नया गृह प्रवेश हो रहा है, तो यहां पर आजादी की पहली किरण का साक्षी, जो आने वाली पीढ़ियों को भी प्रेरणा देने वाला है, वैसा पवित्र सेंगोल और ये वो सेंगोल है जिसको भारत के प्रथम प्रधानमंत्री पंडित नेहरू का स्पर्श हुआ था। ये पंडित नेहरू के हाथों में पूजा विधि कर करके आजादी के पर्व का प्रारंभ हुआ था।
And student protests have been escalating across the country over irregularities in medical entrance exam, NEET, and other competitive exams, including the NET exam as well. The opposition has said that...
In fact, Samiksha, the opposition has said that it would raise the issue in the parliament, and it has been going hammer and tongue against the centre, seeking answers on the irregularities in NEET. It has been a raging issue. And I believe Soumya is joining us on the broadcast to give us more details of how the opposition now plans to take on the centre on it. Well, as far as what has been happening in the parliament, Soumya, the entire country has been witnessing, and the opposition has been going hammer and tongs against the centre over NEET. The centre also having committed and assured that, they would not spare the perpetrators. How is the opposition taking this forward?
Yes, Suesha, it all started yesterday when a meeting was called at Kharge's residence of all the Indie Bloc members at 5 p.m. It was there at his residence that it was decided that this issue will be raised by opposition members in the parliament. However, post the meeting, DMK MP T. Siva said that several notices will be issued today inside the parliament on the NEET issue, as well as several reports have also suggested that ND bloc members have also decided if the government decides not to respond on the NEET issue, they will hold a protest inside the parliament. However, if we talk about other developments in the national capital on this NEET issue, yesterday one more notice was issued to NTA on the NEET case, and the NTA has been asked to give a reply on this issue on July 8th when the case will be placed for hearing again. Other than that, two very major arrests have been made in this case by CBI in Patna. The accused are being named as Ashutosh Kumar and Manish Kumar. Back to you.
Oh yes, absolutely. And those are the two important arrests, Soumya, that have been made in Patna. But the nexus that is bigger than one can imagine, because it is not just the involvement of the corrupt mediators, but also teachers and principals who are now being questioned. It is a pan-India scam. The CBI is probing it, and they are getting to the depth of how the dots are really connected. Take a look at this report.
An FIR has been registered against the members of Congress's student wing, NSUI, after they breached the NTA headquarters in the national capital.
We are standing at the NTA headquarters where NSUI has been protesting for a long time. Here you can see, I'd like to request my Vijay to move forward and show you the visual of this NTA headquarters, where you can see the policemen are deployed over here. The NSUI officials and workers have arrived over here to raise their protests and raise their demands, and they have been constantly saying that we want a complete ban on the NTA. And apart from that, if you see what we have been seeing, that not only just in at this very place, apart from this very place, there were several protests being organized by the students wing, including ABVP and NSUI at different places in Delhi NCR as well.
Meanwhile, the Indie bloc leaders are expected to raise the NEET issue in the parliament today.
समूचा विपक्ष एकजुट है और मजबूती के साथ जो मुद्दे हैं देश के अंदर उनको लेके कल से विरोध चालू करेंगे। मुद्दा नीट का एक अहम मुद्दा है, अग्निवीर का अहम मुद्दा है, और जो मुद्दे चल रहे हैं महंगाई, बेरोजगारी, MSP खरीद, ये सारे अहम मुद्दे हैं जिनको लेके करेंगे हम।
These developments come even as CBI investigation on the NEET paper leak scam is picking pace. In Jharkhand's Hazaribagh, CBI detained an e-rickshaw driver who is accused of transporting NEET papers to SBI Bank in his vehicle. According to Bihar Economic Offences Unit, the paper allotted to Hazaribagh Center had reached Patna on the night of May 3rd.
सीबीआई की इन्वेस्टिगेशन एसबीआई बैंक में भी चल रही है। 3 तारीख को कैसे जो पेपर है वो एसबीआई के बैंक पहुंचा, उसके सीसीटीवी फुटेज को सीबीआई खंगाल रही है। प्रिंसिपल 3 तारीख को क्या एसबीआई बैंक पहुंचे थे उसको सीबीआई खंगाल रही है। तो हर तरीके से, चाहे वो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गैजेट्स हो, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन के तौर पर जो सबूत है वो सभी चीज़ें जुटाई जा रही है। हालांकि सीबीआई का कहना है कि इस पूरे मामले में जो भी साक्ष्य सामने आ रहे हैं उसको आधार बनाकर सीबीआई इस पूरे मामले का जो हजारीबाग कनेक्शन है उसको खंगालने में लगातार जुटी हुई है।
The CBI team has arrested 2 individuals from Patna. Ashutosh is accused of arranging safe house primacy for students, while Manish took these candidates to the school where they were given the question paper. It has also come to light that the main accused in the case, Sanjeev Mukhya, who is still absconding, had submitted a fake medical prescription. With fast-paced developments in the NEET paper leak probe, all eyes are on Parliament, where Dharmendra Pradhan is likely to address the issue today.
And another unfortunate incident in Delhi, given the non-stop rains, a roof that collapsed at Delhi Airport's Terminal 1. In fact, 4 people, and now we are being told no more than 6 people who are injured. Many of those cars who stood damaged.
And as we speak, these are the visuals also from Delhi Terminal 1 Airport, where you see how the roof collapsed. And at least 5 people have been rushed to the hospital, so the situation is grim. Not specifically at the Delhi airport where this roof collapsed, but across the capital where several regions in the capital have been waterlogged. People have been stranded at several places, and measures are being taken to help and assist in all the ongoing operations, as several of them continue to be stranded.
With that, we step into a short commercial break. On the other side, we get you details of the horror in Cooch Behar. A woman was brutally beaten up, stripped naked. Why? Because she supported the BJP.
Siddaramaiah to head for 3-day visit to the national capital to hold meet with party MPs today. Meet with Prime Minister Modi likely tomorrow.
In the India Today Best Universities 2023 survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School Bengaluru.
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth, over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India and India's phenomenal Digital Yatra, Republic Business is delighted to bring its inaugural Republic Business Emerging Tech Awards.
Get ready to witness the best technology extravaganza of the year. The first edition of the Republic Business Emerging Technology Awards has received an overwhelming number of nominations. Dominating the categories are AI and robotics, healthcare, edutech, fintech, banking and finance, and martech. Groundbreaking innovations and revolutionary ideas from the largest digitalized economy in the world. Join us as we celebrate India's incredible digital growth story. Republic Business Emerging Technology Awards.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
And a quick check of the headlines for the first time in 2024 US election season. President Biden and former President Donald Trump lock horns in the presidential debate. Countdown begins for the ultimate showdown later this year. Fiery session in Parliament today. Neet leak issue to resonate in the sunset. Situation tensed in Coach Bihar. Local TMC Neta accused of stripping and beating up a woman. Siddaramaiah to head for 3-day visit to the national capital to hold meet with party MPs today, meet with Prime Minister likely tomorrow. After unconstitutional oath, yes, Owaisi hurls insult at President Murmu after that joint address to the Parliament.
And let's move on to the other stories we are tracking. The armed forces have pulled back from the presidential palace amidst a coup attempt that was made. President Louis RK has condemned the coup attempt, calling for international support to uphold democracy in the country.
Oh yes, in fact, the Bolivian police guarded the entrance to the government palace in downtown La Paz, which still bore the marks of the violence during the attempted coup. And the nation of 12 million watched in shock as Bolivian military forces appeared to turn on the government of President Louis, seizing control of the capital's main square. We get you all the details in this report.
Bolivian armed forces pulled back from the presidential palace in La Paz on Wednesday. This comes after the Bolivian president slammed a coup attempt against the government and called for international support.
El país hoy está enfrentando un intento de golpe de Estado. Hoy el país enfrenta una vez más intereses para que la democracia en Bolivia se trunque. Aquí estamos, el gobierno nacional con todos sus ministros, ministras, firmes con nuestro vicepresidente, firmes aquí en Casa Grande, para enfrentar todo intento golpista, todo intento que atente a nuestra democracia.
The Bolivian military cordoned off government buildings which were prone to coup attempts. Mexico's President López Obrador praised Bolivia's response to the failed coup attempt.
Hay mucha inestabilidad política, pero afortunadamente respondió muy bien el gobierno de Bolivia, de Luis Arce, respondió muy bien el pueblo de Bolivia la gente defendiendo la democracia, rechazando el golpe.
Soldiers were seen guarding the presidential palace as an armored vehicle attempted to break through the doors. Bolivians from all around the country have gathered in support for their president. The leader of the failed coup attempt is being held outside the headquarters of the Special Police Forces. Government supporters were seen repudiating the coup and demonstrated in favor of democracy.
Es increíble que en pleno siglo XXI pueda haber un intento de golpe. Es que defendemos el derecho constitucional, el derecho democrático que tenemos todos los bolivianos. Hemos hecho una vigilia toda la noche.
Some citizens believe that the coup was intentionally orchestrated.
De lejos ha sido un autogolpe planificado, premeditado. Lamentable, yo vi a algunos compañeros que conozco, funcionarios, riéndose de oreja a oreja, pues en un golpe de Estado como 2019 no podías hacerlo eso. Entonces, yo creo que sabían todo eso.
As Bolivia faces this political crisis, the world watches closely.
And well, the return of the Starliner spacecraft, which took NASA astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore to the International Space Station, has now been postponed indefinitely.
Yes, and adding to that, Suesha, the Premier Space Agency said that it was treading with caution now after managing small helium leaks and thruster performance issues as well that they observed during rendezvous and docking of the spacecraft.
Starliner, Atlas 5.
NASA has postponed the return of the Starliner spacecraft, which has, among others, US astronaut of Indian descent Sunita Williams on board. The postponement of the return of the NASA spacecraft could potentially put the lives of Williams and fellow astronauts on board at risk. The NASA and Boeing leaderships are adjusting the return of the Starliner crew flight test spacecraft to Earth with Sunita Williams and fellow astronaut Butch Wilmore from the International Space Station. Steve Stitch, the manager of NASA's Commercial Crew Program, said the agency was taking its time and following the mission management team process. The Premier Space Agency said it was treading with caution after managing small helium leaks and thruster performance that they observed during rendezvous and docking of the spacecraft. As the clock ticks down to planned return of the Starliner spacecraft, the world watches on with trepidation. Here's hoping Sunita and her fellow astronauts fly back safe.
And in other international stories that we are tracking, this one from Israel, in Tel Aviv, where a large crowd gathered for the Tribe of Noah's first event that was held since the 7th of October terror attack launched by the Hamas terror group. This concert aimed to support survivors through musical and community solidarity that was offered to them.
Oh yes, the spirits of people demonstrated that even in challenging times, a community can support each other through shared experiences. Getting you all the details in this report.
Tel Aviv's Park Hayarkan came alive with the Tribe of Noah's healing concert. This marks the first large-scale event since the devastating attack by Hamas on Israel on October 7th.
There's one track, it's called Dance is the Answer. And I think it's the answer for, a lot of things. Sadness and happiness. And you do whatever you want. Like, if you're feeling sad, you still can dance, but...
The event aimed to raise awareness and funds for therapy and support networks for survivors of the terror attack. The deadly assault carried out during a music festival.
Nothing can stop us from living our lives here in Israel, and nothing can stop us from keep on dancing and living.
Another attendee shared how dancing was not just a celebration but a tribute to those who lost their lives.
The only way to really commemorate these people is through
living what they lived, which is dancing. That's what they came there to do. That's what all the trans people actually, what they do is looking for a place that they can gather together and dance and have fun and really enjoy each other and love.
Beyond music, the tribe of Noah gathering showcased spirit to heal and move forward.
Moving on, the Reserve Bank of India has released its latest financial stability report highlighting India's robust financial system amid global challenges.
And despite global geopolitical tensions and economic uncertainties that loom large, India's banks and non-banking financial companies, the NBFCs, remain resilient. Here's a report.
The latest financial stability report from the Reserve Bank of India. Despite concerns such as geopolitical tensions and slow disinflation progress worldwide, India's economy remains stable. What makes the economy resilient? At the heart of this resilience are the country's scheduled commercial banks. As of March 2024, these banks reported a robust capital to risk-weighted assets ratio of 16.8%, with a notable decrease in gross non-performing assets to 2.8%. Non-banking financial companies also showed robust health. As of March 2024, capital to risk-weighted assets ratio is at 26.6% and gross NPA ratio is at 4%. While global financial systems face pressures from escalating debts and geopolitical uncertainties, the report indicates that India's financial institutions are well prepared. Stress tests suggest banks can withstand adverse scenarios, ensuring financial stability moving forward. India is the third largest economy, and the journey forward seems to be uphill.
On to international updates. French President Emmanuel Macron criticized far-right politicians, including Marine Le Pen, for speaking as if they were already in the government. With 3 days until France's legislative elections, Le Pen questioned who would control the military if her party won, prompting Macron's angry response. He emphasized that the French people have not yet chosen and accused the far-right of disrespecting the democratic process. Political scientists are uncertain about how Macron and a potential far-right prime minister would share power given their conflicting policies. Le Pen suggested her protege Jordan Bardella would lead the government and influence defense decisions if they win.
German Chancellor has expressed confidence in widespread support for Ursula von der Leyen's reappointment as European Commission President. EU leaders confirmed that another 5 years is assured for the EU chief alongside Antonio Costa as European Council President and Kaja Kallas as top diplomat. Despite objections from far-right leaders like Italian Prime Minister and Hungarian Prime Minister, the appointments are set to proceed backed by centrist political families in the European Parliament.
Supporters of Fernando Villavicencio, the slain Ecuadorian presidential candidate, protested for justice and truth following his assassination just before a special election. 13 initially investigated, including 7 Colombians, with 1 gunman killed in a police encounter. 6 accused awaiting trial were later killed. His daughter emphasized the need for transparency in the investigation, echoing calls from lawyer Natalia to prevent impunity in Ecuador.
Bolivian President Luis Arce described Wednesday's attempted coup involving General Juan Zuniga and Rear Admiral Juan Arnes. Arce denied orchestrating the coup, countering the claims armored vehicles note had breached the government palace, but the president stood firm, replacing the Rear Admiral and ordering troops to stand down. And all of this while 15 people have been arrested in the coup attempt.
Protests outside Argentina's Congress opposed the Basis Law, which critics say benefits big companies and the wealthy while burdening lower-income workers with increased taxes. President Javier Milei's fiscal package aims to deregulate, reduce public spending and privatize more sectors, sparking contentious debate and 6 months of advocacy for its passage.
Heading into a short break, tracking closely the news from J&K, where Chief Electoral Officer has now written to district election officers to begin preparations for the assembly polls.
India gears up for final face-off with South Africa in T20 World Cup final, thrashed defending champions England by 68 runs.
In the India Today Best Universities 2023 survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi and National Law School Bengaluru.
Get ready to witness the best technology extravaganza of the year. The first edition of the Republic Business Emerging Technology Awards has received an overwhelming number of nominations. Dominating the categories are AI and robotics, healthcare, edutech, fintech, banking and finance, and martech. Groundbreaking innovations and revolutionary ideas from the largest digitalized economy in the world. Join us as we celebrate India's incredible digital growth story. Republic Business Emerging Technology Awards, Friday, 5th July 2024.
With over 1,12,718 startups igniting innovation, driving digital growth. Over 800 million internet users are bridging distances and strengthening bonds across the globe, making India the third largest digitalized country in the world, accounting for around 46% of the world's real-time digital transactions. To celebrate the makers and shakers behind Digital India and India.
Thank you for staying with Republic, and we now shift our focus to the roof collapse at Delhi Airport's Terminal 1. Unfortunately, 6 are injured and 1 lost his life. 5 fire tenders that were rushed to the spot after the incident. And the latest that is just coming in, all the flights at the T1 terminal for the moment have been cancelled. That's the latest update coming in from several airlines, including SpiceJet, Air India and Indigo. My colleague Shivangi, who's present at the T1 terminal right now, is joining us on the broadcast. Shivangi, I believe you were also slated to catch a flight, but all flights have been cancelled at the moment. Also, if anything you're picking from your sources at the airport with regards to the extent of damage, unfortunately, one person who's lost his life in this mishap.
That is right. A very good morning, Suesha. And the scenes here are quite chaotic. I just want to show you if you can see the scenes around here. It's quite chaotic. You can see a lot of hassled passengers where we see, and here is where the collapse has happened. The area which is upstairs, where usually the passengers come to get into the airport, that area is completely closed off. And you can see that there's a team there. They're working to fix the damage. There's a lot of damage upstairs, and the entire roof has collapsed. And what we see right now is a massive chaos at the T1 airport, where passengers are completely confused, including me. I had a flight in the morning, and I had a flight from T3 airport first. That got cancelled, and then I had a flight from T1 airport. And after the roof collapse, the personnel are saying that all the flights are cancelled from T1. And you can see that the passengers here are completely shocked. They're making phone calls. Their plans for the day are completely in disarray. And what we're learning right now is that even though the staff has said that there will be a refund, the passengers' plans are completely in a disarray, like we just told our viewers. Now, the second thing is that the T2 airport, from what I'm learning right now, I just came to know that some flights might run from the T2 airport. The cancelled flights might run from the T2 airport. There's a bus taking passengers from T1 airport to the T2 airport. So I will also be trying to go there to the T2 airport and see whether my flight will run from the T2 airport. But you can see here the amount of chaos here with passengers completely confused. You can see how confused they are. They're speaking to personnel, making phone calls. You can see that here. You see those visuals. These are Indigo and SpiceJet staff. They have been deployed here to help the passengers understand what to do next. But all in all, a lot of chaos here. Now some passengers are moving to the T2 airport. So they will be trying to get a flight from there. As for me, I am, since I've come here, there has been massive traffic on the way to the airport. 3-hour traffic, 2.5-hour traffic. And of course, the situation has been worsened for anybody who was coming to T1 airport because of the roof collapse, Suesha. But let's see what happens. But definitely not a very good day to travel today.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But Shivangi, also important to understand how the airline staff is responding. It is a chaotic situation, needless to say, and the focus right now is to clear the debris, resume flights and ensure that everyone stays safe. Safety, of course, is the utmost priority right now. But how are the airline staffers dealing with the ongoing situation? Are they giving some specific clear answers to the passengers, in terms of a timeline to when this will get sorted, when the flights will resume? Or could they also just refund these flights and asking passengers to go back?
So as for the flights, they are saying that all flights are cancelled from T1 airport. That means if you have a flight here, the other option that you could have is to the other option is just to make sure that you get a flight from T2, otherwise the flight is cancelled, then you can go to Make My Trip or whichever site that you booked your flight from and ask for a cancellation. So they said there will be a refund. A refund will be given to you, but you have to raise the request. So that is what they're saying right here, Suesha. I also want to show you that roof collapse. I can see it from where I am. If you can see upstairs, this is the roof collapse. And you can see that entire roof has collapsed. This is the entry point. Whenever the vehicle comes to leave the passenger so they can go towards the airport, that entire place is completely collapsed. It's extremely shocking, in fact, visual. And some people have been injured in this case. You can see here also that there are personnel standing here guarding this entire area. And this entire area has been closed off. This is the actual entry of the T1 gate. But we are downstairs right now. We are downstairs because upstairs it has been, everything has been closed off. So a lot of chaotic scenes here. Now, next thing which I will be doing will be trying to go to T2 airport to see whether my flight will go from the T2 airport. It is definitely chaotic today and a lot of plans getting cancelled and unexpected rainfall, Suesha. Today, the heavy rainfall has just thrown life out of gear. One, cancelling flights, and number two, the damage that you see here at the T1 airport, definitely to worry about. Of course, the flights are cancelled to make sure that the passengers remain safe. So that is the main point. Obviously, that they want to make sure the passengers are safe. Safety comes before anything else, before travel plans. And that's the reason T1 airport has been closed and all passengers' flights have been cancelled from the T1 airport. Next option is to go to a different airport and try to catch a flight. Still chaotic scenes here at the Delhi airport T1 gate. The staff members are helpful, but they have no solution to in terms of what the passengers should do. They just say that you should wait for to cancel your flight from the online booking site and get your refund or try your luck at a different terminal. So,
Oh yes, absolutely, Shivangi. And unfortunately, one person who lost his life in this mishap. We will continue to track the story very closely in terms of helpline numbers being put out. And most importantly, how are the airlines dealing with this chaos? What next for the passengers? Now, we are learning that the operations have been suspended for the moment. But whether there is any timeline given to it, we also understand that the cancelled flights may just take off from T2 airport. But when will the situation move back to normal at T1 is the question. And a quick check of the other top stories. The first batch of Amarnath Yatra pilgrims departed for the Yatra at 4 this morning. This year's Yatra started on the 29th of June. Pilgrims gathered at Bhagwati Nagar Yatri Niwas in Jammu. Pilgrims set to travel in escorted convoys to base camps in Kashmir, where authorities have been deploying CAPF for highway security, while hundreds of personnel are securing the 300-kilometer highway. Meanwhile, more teams guard the 85-kilometer Srinagar-Baltal Road and the Kazigund-Belgaum Road. Transit camps are set at Manigam and Mir Bazar. Helicopter services are available for pilgrims on both routes. A total of 3.5 lakh pilgrims registered for this year's Yatra. Further arrangements of 125 langars or community kitchens that have been set up across the route. Over 7,000 volunteers who are serving the pilgrims at these langars. This year, the Yatra is spread over a span of 52 days. The darshan is set to begin. Ruling NDA is open to appointing a deputy speaker in the Lok Sabha. A decision is expected later. While the NDA has not dismissed the opposition's claim to the post, it criticized the demand for preconditions regarding the election of the speaker. Notably, there was no deputy speaker in the Lok Sabha. The government's attempt to reach a consensus on appointing Om Birla as speaker previously failed because the opposition insisted that a deputy speaker should be appointed according to tradition. Rebellion within Shiromani Akali Dal continues to escalate. Rebel leader Prem Singh Chandu Majra criticized Sukhbir Singh Badal, accusing him of ruining the party for personal gain. Chandu Majra stated that people have consistently rejected the Shiromani Akali Dal, emphasizing the need for a party chief with religious and political influence who will not seek the chief minister's post. He refuted allegations of Operation Lotus and accused Badal of dividing the party. Following the Lok Sabha election defeat, Shiromani Akali Dal appears split into two factions, each holding separate meetings and voicing discontent with the leadership. Time now for a short commercial break. On the other side, we get you details as Jammu and Kashmir Chief Electoral Officer has written to district election officers to begin preparations for assembly polls in next 2 months. India gears up for the final face-off with South Africa in T20 World Cup final. Thrash defending champions England by 68 runs.
Get ready to witness the best technology extravaganza of the year. The first edition of the Republic Business Emerging Technology Awards has received an overwhelming number of nominations. Dominating the categories are AI and robotics, healthcare, edutech, fintech, banking and finance, and martech. Groundbreaking innovations and revolutionary ideas from the largest digitalized economy in the world. Join us as we celebrate India's incredible digital growth story. Republic Business Emerging Technology Awards, Friday, 5th July 2024.
justice for two 24-year-old techies killed under the wheels of a 2 crore rupee Porsche car driven by a drunk, super-rich, spoilt brat. The High Court said that the killer, super-rich, spoilt brat should just go out of jail. And if this, in their view, is justice, then I would say to the lordships, and I would say this with the greatest of respect, that if there is injustice in this world, it is in the exact words of that order. It is in letting down the people of this country. And what is unbearable to me is that the state has not challenged this unfair order in the Supreme Court, and that the Eknath Shinde-led Mahayuti government is giving fake promises to the victim's family along with a 10 lakh rupee check, and that we are all looking away when this kind of verdict has been delivered. I will appeal to the Supreme Court of India, please intervene suo motu in this case. All the people of India are watching.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Watching Republic TV. I'm Kriti Mehta. We're now live and breaking at 9 a.m. Big stories lined up for you in this bulletin, from the Amarnath Yatra that's all set to kick off tomorrow to the tragedy that has struck the Delhi airport, where one has been killed due to a roof collapse incident following heavy rains last night. We'll tell you about all of that, but first let's take a quick check of the headlines.
American Pistachio presents cracking news of the hour.
First batch of 4,500 Amarnath Yatra pilgrims leave for Kashmir today. LG Manoj Sinha monitors Yatra preparations. With Yatra set to kick off tomorrow, CRPF implements a robust security plan for Amarnath pilgrims on the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway. Situation tense in Cooch, Bihar. Woman stripped and thrashed by perpetrators linked to a political party. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Electoral